Alright, it's Vegeta 8259, and I figured I would just give you guys an update of my Gundam X. So, if I can get the camera to stand up straight. This is where I'm at right now. As you can see, it's still in the rough stages, but I am making good progress. The good news is that all of the joint modifications are done. As you can see, the arms are finished. Well, this one's not quite finished, but this one's finished. And basically, what I did was I hollowed out everything inside the torso and inserted two polycaps that I happen to have. I have a big Ziploc bag full of polycaps that, I mean, you know when you build a model kit there's always polycaps left over? I save them, because you never know when they'll be, come in handy for stuff like this. Anyway, I had two polycaps and I mounted those inside the torso with epoxy. This stuff is great. It's like glue on steroids. I don't know why I haven't been using it earlier. Anyway, because on the original kit it had a peg coming out of the torso that went into a polycap in the arm. Well, I had to switch that, since on the Master Gundam Master Grade frame for the arm it had a peg on the shoulder. Anyway, you probably can't see it, but there is a polycap in there, and I just epoxied that into place, and so now he's got a functional shoulder joint. And of course it goes 360 like it's supposed to, and the elbow goes flying. But yeah. And then once again I used epoxy and just carved out a little area inside the shoulder armor and put in a little polycap socket that will accommodate this ball joint up here, and you get a nice ball joint for the shoulder armor, and it can wiggle around and has a little bit of free movement. And the upper arm, this white part for the upper arm, was the trickiest part, because I had to take Gundam X's upper arm piece, hollow it out, cut off the top, glue it together, and then putty it and fill it and sand it and all that stuff, until basically I just made like a little sleeve. See, it just goes straight through. And that's what I had to do for the upper arm. But it works, and that's the important part. And it's got those nice looking elbows, so we don't have any more ugly polycap elbows. And I haven't actually tried to bend them yet, but they should bend a full 180, or about as close to a 180 as I can get. So yeah, progress on Gundam X is coming slower than I would like it to, but it is going pretty steadily. And I've got my camera on autofocus, so you'll have to forgive me. So yeah, basically the arms are done. This upper arm piece is done. I've just got to spray paint it white. I've just got to fill in the panel lines for the shoulder armor and paint it white, and then it'll be done. The torso is done. All I've got to do is sand off this putty where I filled in the seam line along the edge there, and then paint it blue and all that good stuff, and then it'll be done. And of course you saw earlier that I added the ball joint waist, so he's got his forward and back movement. And here you can kind of see what I did with the hips. See how I just took this little chunk of plastic out at the top? It lets him bring his legs out a little bit further, not really that much further, but then again, it's not like I'm going to have my Gundam X doing any high kicks. But yeah, just a little bit of extra movement there. And I'm pretty much just starting at the top. I'm slowly working my way down. As you can see, I've done very little work on the legs. They've still got the putty from the seam lines in there. Anyway, I'll show you the hands that I've been working on. I had some HDM hands that were made by B Club that originally went to an RX-78 kit, and basically I had to take some plastic, just cheap plastic, and cut it out into the right shapes and then glue it onto the hands. So the hands were originally gray, and I just glued it on there, and then I'd take this little crack right here that forms along the edges and fill that in with putty, and then sand it so it looks good, and then paint it until I get something that looks like this. And I'm actually still going to use the hands that came with the kit, just because the trigger finger hands that came with the HDM set don't really fit Gundam X's weapons too well. So I'm going to keep the high grade hands, and I added the plastic on the outside as well, and did the same thing with these. I still got to paint it white though. But yeah, I think that's just about it. So really I've gotten over the big hump. The big hump was getting these arms and torso modified, and now that that's done, everything else should just be smooth sailing. All the rest of the hard work is just going to be removing all of these obnoxious panel lines. So, I guess that's about it, and I will see you guys next time.